Hi, good morning or good afternoon. This is Susie Bonner, your Big I National Young Agent Committee Liaison. Thank you so much for joining us on this Friday to learn a little bit more about the GIVE movement that the Big I Young Agents are working on. Today, speaking with you is going to be Jana Foster, a member of the National Young Agent Committee, and then some of our friends from the Illinois Association's Young Agent Group. They were truly the inspiration for this program. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and let Jana take the stage.
Thanks, Susie, and I'll go ahead and echo Susie again and just say thank you so much for joining us. We know that you have a lot going on, so we appreciate your time this morning for this most important event that we have coming up June 1st through the 8th. We kind of want to pull the curtains back on this thing and let you guys know what's going on. So we'll take you through this, and at the end we'll have a Q&A. Like Susie said, we'll be talking to the Illinois staff and the YAC chair in Illinois, Allison. We have Rachel and Deanne from the Illinois staff. Rachel does the digital communications and the web administration there, and Deanne is the vice president of communications. And then we have Allison, she's the current YAC chair. And really, they inspired this thing. Doing it last year, we're going to show you what they did. We're going to show you, how they put this all together, and really how they're just spoon feeding this GIVE movement for us. So we're really excited about it. Hope you guys can take some notes today. If somebody couldn't make the meeting, the webinar, please let them know that it will be recorded and available for people after we're done here. So without further ado, let's get started here and jump right in. First, I'd like to introduce our national committee. In case you don't know, these are the 5 individuals that represent every state for your Young Agents committees. I'll run through these really quick just in case you don't know who your representative is. We'd love to hear from you guys. We're always open to anything that you guys have. That's what we're here for. So we have Joe Hamilton. He is our Young Agent Chair on the national side. He's from California. Joe represents the states of Alaska, Arizona, California, Colorado, Hawaii, New Mexico, Oregon, Texas, and Washington. Myself, I'm from Nevada. I represent the Midwest of Iowa, Indiana, Illinois, Kansas, Kentucky, Michigan, Missouri, Ohio, Wisconsin, and West Virginia. We have Robbie Moore from Georgia. Robbie represents the states of Alabama, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia, Louisiana, Mississippi, North Carolina, Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee. Caroline Pintenbow, she represents Connecticut, DC, Delaware, Massachusetts, Maine, Maryland, New Hampshire, New Jersey, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Virginia, and Vermont. And finally, Jared Blackwood from North Dakota. He represents Idaho, Minnesota, Montana, Nebraska, Nevada, North Dakota, South Dakota, Utah, and Wyoming. So wherever you heard your state in there, go ahead and look that person up. And honestly, we would love to hear from you, good, bad, or indifferent. Any comments, questions, concerns, not only about this movement, but anything that you have going on in your committee. These are the people that, you should be reaching out to, and you should be hearing from us as well. All right, so let's jump right in. So, obviously we just need to first start off with what is the GIVE movement. And what we've come up with is, it's just this week of giving is about ordinary people doing extraordinary things. Simply put, we really want to celebrate our community of agents and the work that we do to help our hometowns. In the perfect world, we would like every trusted choice agent in the country to join this movement. And we'll talk about our goals in doing that. We are celebrating every trusted choice agent in the country. We're working together with young agents, with state associations, with agencies, even the carriers, and also the community. So what we really want to tell you today is, it's not just about your YAC. It is about, your individual agency, your state association, any of your carriers that you'd like to get involved. It really, the opportunities are endless for this movement. So we really want to see across the board, like I said, perfect world, every trusted choice agent in the country do this. And then obviously we want us to tell you, We want us to tell your story and, share your achievements with us and let us know, what it was that you did and how it went and how many people and volunteers and money that you raised. So the first part of that would be choosing a charity, finding something that's important to your team, finding something that's important to your hometown. And it could really be anything: a shelter, a food pantry, schools, animal shelters, medical fundraisers. The opportunities are endless there as far as what you can do. Maybe one of your committee members or somebody in your agency has something that really speaks to them and is close to their heart. Go for it. The opportunities are endless there. Then you want to choose an activity or a staff fundraiser. Some of the ideas that we've kind of noodled around just to maybe get some extra donations in would be maybe collection jars for something that would be important to you guys. Hey, let's get coffee on the Friday and everybody throws in $5 into the pot. Or let's pay $5 and everybody gets to dress down for Friday and wear jeans. Collecting soda tabs, box tops are another great idea that I know a lot of schools use. Pennies for charity. Just, a change jar even at the office. Everybody throwing in their loose change at the end of the week. Any of these things, just something easy and simple for the staff to get engaged, and even maybe make it a little bit competitive is good. Then you would want to, you can choose an activity, any sort of community collection site. I know a lot of times here in Nevada, people have different sort of collections that we're doing for the month or things like that. If you want to jump on board with that, non-perishable food items, any school supplies, packing backpacks for, I know the Boys and Girls Club are always needing school supplies and things like that. Emergency supplies, helping out FEMA, sanitary kits, blankets, any clothing. A big thing that we've seen is prom and homecoming or business attire. These prom dresses or homecoming dresses, they're very elaborate these days, and the girls wear them one time and then that's it. So anything like that would be great. Any sort of pet food or pet items for the SPCA or anything like that. Anything that you can think of that would get you guys engaged. And, something that if it speaks to you, that's great. Sweetening the deal. We talked about setting a goal and giving a reward. We've seen a little bit of this happen with the Make-A-Wish Foundation, and these were just kind of some ideas that we pulled. But having a company leader shave their head when the staff earns $500 for a local cause, that might make people up the ante a little bit. Offering a corporate donation match, giving a day off to a person who raises the most money, the most funds for the agency, or again, the dress down days or shorter Fridays for the summer. Who wouldn't like that? So the main part of this is obviously, figuring out what it is that you want to do and how you're going to do that, not only with your committee, but within your agency, and how you're going to get some of your carriers involved and get this information out to them. But before we do it, once we figure out what we're going to do, one of the biggest things that the National Committee and Susie is asking you to do is to complete this form. And you can find it on our website. The website's listed there. And after the call, we will go ahead and put a direct link to the form. We'll send that out to you guys. So what we're asking you to do is to complete that form now. Even if it's a partial, like, hey, we have this kind of idea that we're, throwing back and forth, just let us know what your agency name is, who is the contact person for your agency, and kind of what the idea is that you have moving forward on what you're going to do for your movement and the date that you have. So we really would like to have that information as soon as we can. And then what that will do is once you fill out the form, it sends you directly to our Give Movement resources. So guys, like I said, this thing is spoon-fed for us. We have all the graphics, all the resources that you will need to pull this thing off. It really is going to be a pretty great deal, because what you're focusing on is the volunteer and the fundraising. You're not focusing on any of the graphics or the resources or anything like that, because that work has been done for you. So your job will be, to post your stories, use our hashtags, get it out there on social, all that kind of good stuff. But really, it's about the movement. It's about giving. So we're really excited about that portion of it too. you will have 30 days after your event to get that information back from us. And we're going to do a really good job too of following up with you guys on, hey, how did it go? If we're not hearing from you, we're going to follow up with you. So that's why it's so important to complete that form now and kind of get that going for us. So we will have a direct link to that. And during the event, obviously join our Facebook event, show us what you're going to be doing, post all your stories using that hashtag TCAgentsGive at Independent Agents, Facebook, we have Twitter, all the kinds of social media that you need. And then the main things will be that you document the number of volunteers, the amount of money and donations that were given or received, and the people who helped. I mean, we want to know what agencies helped. We want to know their names. And we're thinking about doing a ticker for those agents and those agencies that have helped us out and joined the movement. Like I said, you'll have 30 days to report back to a national committee member and, share your successes. So that's really kind of the gist of it. I wanted to share with you quickly what Nevada is going to be doing as a Young Agent Committee, not here in my agency, but overall as a committee. We have our convention up in June in South Lake Tahoe. So we have a wonderful opportunity to actually help out a former carrier rep. She worked for Markel, and her sister was born Down syndrome, and recently they lost funding for the school that she was going to, and she and several of her friends that had access to this wonderful school for Down syndrome children was pulled. And she was kind of at a loss of what to do, and created this foundation. It's called the Garden Foundation, and if you have time to YouTube it today, it's called the Garden Foundation in Las Vegas, and it's a beautiful story. And she just is really looking for any help that she can get. So, and we haven't figured out exactly what we're going to do with her. We're kind of still in the process of going back and forth with her, asking her what her needs are, but we know that is something that we're going to do, and that's going to be our focus, is the Garden Foundation. So we're really excited to work with her, Taylor, and her sister, and figure out what do you need, because we are going to be here to help you, and we're going to take it up to our convention. Like I said, we're going to have all of our carriers there, all of our association, and of course the Nevada Young Agents are going to be doing this. So we're really excited about that. But I've already filled out my form and completed it, even though we don't know exactly all the details. Our form's in and we're ready to rock and roll. So hopefully you guys can get that out to us and we can start the ball rolling on this. Like we said earlier in the webinar, we do have the Illinois State staff and the YAC chair here. Really, guys, this thing was inspired by them and what they did. So I'm going to turn it over to them. Like I said, we will have a question and answer section towards the end of the webinar. So if you have any questions, please hold on to them. And without further ado, Rachel and Deanne and Allison, you want to take this thing over and kind of tell us where this came from? How did you guys, think of this awesome day? We're really excited about it.
Great, thank you. This is Rachel. I am the Young Agents Committee liaison. We did a economic impact study back in 2016, and in that study, we found that actually the statistic is property casualty insurers nationally gave a total of $575 million benefiting communities throughout the United States. Based on that knowledge and knowing that Trusted Choice independent insurance agents are usually pretty charitable, that's kind of where the idea was formed. So the Young Agents Committee kind of took that. We've always supported Make-A-Wish. For the past few years, it's been a goal to grant a wish for a child every year. So the charity has been important to the committee. So we kind of took this project and decided that to make the biggest impact, we'd scale it down to a shorter time frame than an overall year. And so we decided on one day. We encourage giving all through the year, but we encourage it especially for the one day, the day of giving. The promotions that we did was pretty much like what you guys have already done, or what National Susie has done just a special website or section on the website. We list all of the events. We listed ideas for events. Last year we did T-shirts for all participants. We were able to get that sponsored by some of our local vendors, and some agencies gave us some money to put towards those shirts. So that way it was, once we collected all the data and collected pictures, it was kind of a sense of unity with everybody wearing the shirts with the Day Giving logo on there. We had a Facebook page that we encouraged everybody to post to. We gave admin rights to some of our agencies so they could do like a Facebook Live from the page. We had some success with that. And, we just did exactly what Susie's doing, just providing all of the graphics and everything so that the back end work is pretty much done. We have some press releases where all you have to do is put in an agency name and send that to your local news sources. The graphics, whether it's for print or social media, just everything that we could think of to help people in their giving. We promoted it heavily in all of our association communications at different events, in our magazines, newsletters. We talked about it, a lot. And that was, I think Susie's pretty much following our guide from last year. So I don't really have anything to add that we did for promotions. I do want to kind of talk to a bit about a couple of the events that we had here. So I'm going to have Deanne, the Vice President of Communications for the Illinois Association, talk about the events that the association had at our headquarters.
So we felt like it was really important last year that the association also take part in the Day of Giving, and we wanted to do it in a big way and kind of raise our overall charitable profile within our own community. So we have not only the partnership with Make-A-Wish, but we also have a philanthropic partnership with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. So we did on June 2nd last year on our Day of Giving here at the association, we had a huge community garage sale event. And we call it event because it was a garage sale, but there were a lot of other elements that came into it. But we took donations here for like 3 weeks prior to the event. We publicized that everywhere that we could. We leveraged partnerships that we had with vendors that we do business with as an association and asked them for donations, or just a in-kind contribution that helped us overall with our startup costs, because we had to rent a huge tent and it was out in our parking lot. We had the local Bloodmobile came. We had a barber college that came and did haircuts for free that day if you just gave a donation to St. Jude. We had a food truck on hand. We also went to the neighboring businesses, the ones that are on the same corridor of town that our association is, and said, hey, listen, we're having this huge charitable event for St. Jude on June 2nd, bringing all this traffic to this part of the town. Would you like to be a part of that? We'll put you on all of our pre-publicity. We were able to get, one of the biggest vendors gave us a $1,000 donation. It was a big car dealership here in town. They're always very charitable. They're looking to increase their charitable profile as well. So they gave us a $1,000 contribution, and they allowed us to film a commercial for free that we were part of, because they have one dealership in town in particular where they always, highlight different charitable events. So we were on to film that. Due to our partnership with St. Jude and St. Jude's good reputation and partnership within the community, we got a lot of free radio advertising as well, because one of the largest radio networks here in town does a lot of St. Jude stuff. So they would promote it. They did a lot of, early promotion. I went on the week before and did a live promo in their studio. So we had that kind of thing. But we know that everybody is very challenged as an association, as we are, in that you feel like you go to the same people all the time and asking them for things. So we didn't go to the same companies and that we normally go to for sponsorships on our association events. We went back into the community. And what we found was that overall, the community was extremely generous, and we made connections with businesses we had never thought of partnering with before. And the overall event was fantastic. I mean, it was a great day. We brought a lot of people in. We thought ahead of time of who would benefit from our leftover garage sale items. So we got sponsorship from a couple of resale places in town, gave us money, and then they came to be a sponsor, and they were on the shirts, and then they came at the time that the event ended and gathered everything up and took it off. And so we're going to roll with that again this year, hoping to make it even bigger. Change some things from last year that weren't as successful as we hoped, but we're very encouraged that we will once again have a really good event. Last year, our garage sale raised over $7,000. So we felt good about that number that it brought in, but we felt even better about the reach that we made within our community, letting people just really soak in the fact that Trusted Choice independent insurance agents are some of the most charitable people within their respective communities. And that's, you know, that's the message we were trying to get out, and we felt very successful in that.
Rob?
Oh, that's awesome, Deanne. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. This year, and in effort to get ready for the next event, we do every other year what we call road shows in Illinois, where we take staff members out to all these different locations throughout the state in March, just putting on a free luncheon, inviting our members or potential members to come and hear about all of the resources that the IIA of Illinois has. And one of those things that we highlighted at the road show was the Day of Giving. And we had lots of agents at the road show stand up and talk about what they did last year for the Day of Giving. And one of our most successful events that was held in one of our agencies, that principal was at the road show and stood up and gave a great testimonial about how the people in his office embraced this so much last year that they've been asking him for months, when is it again? What are we going to do? What's our event? How can we make it bigger? And the one thing that he did at his office that I think is a good idea, if people can, you know, extend this idea in their own agencies, he gave people personal time off if they worked for this cause. So if they showed up and did stuff on that day, then they got a PTO day that they could use later. But the interesting thing that he wanted to communicate about that was most of the people took that PTO day and went to their charity, which was an animal shelter, and used that day to volunteer. So it's kind of like pay it forward and keep paying it forward. And so, you know, people can get creative within their own associations and agencies, but you should be able to find that people are extremely receptive to this kind of an event. Everybody wants to do good, and there's so much work out there that people can be doing, and why not let them all know that Trusted Choice independent insurance agents are the ones doing this good charitable work.
And just to kind of follow that up, I wanted Allison to talk briefly on her event that she had at her agency. She's a small agency in Southern Illinois, so I thought that her point of view would be good to share with the people on the call. Allison?
Thank you, Rachel. This Day of Giving was something, when we came up with it, I was so excited. I know Rachel and Deanne really did a lot of the background work, getting our graphics and everything, the site set up and the hashtags ready and all that stuff. So I didn't have to do a lot of that, but I had to work within my agency and my community to get our event off the ground and really show other agents, whether that was when we were at a roadshow or at our Young Agents Conference that we hold in May, how easy and how simple it can be. I know Jana talked a little bit about just giving up your coffee for the week and donating that money or doing a jeans day or whatever. Our agency, we came together one of our morning meetings and chose a charity out of the several civic organizations that we insure ourselves. So it was pretty easy to pick from. And then we decided on an organization and then tried to come up with an idea of what we were going to do that day. Not only did what we do benefit monetarily the organization that we chose, which was Big Brothers, Big Sisters of Richland County, we did recycling, electronics, and then we had a shredding service come in and shred documents, something that we can't access easily in our small community in rural Southern Illinois. So we had a huge response to this and raised almost $2,000 in just like a few hours for Big Brothers Big Sisters. And it was a great event. We got a lot of publicity from it, local paper, local radio, a lot of Facebook shares and things of that nature. And then we took people's information as they came, sent them thank you notes, and were able to really do a great job, I think, not only for Big Brothers Big Sisters, but get a lot of those electronics recycled that people may have just thrown in the garbage or whatever. But really, I mean, it was pretty easy. We worked with a local high school club to help us with kind of the grunt work of that day, because there was a lot of heavy lifting, giant old tube TVs that people had in their basement for 10 to 15 years that haven't been used. We had to move all that stuff, but really our local FBLA club came and helped, and it was a great day, really easy, just a few hours, and we saw a pretty big impact in our community. Rachel, am I missing anything as far as what we need to share?
One thing that I did forget to share about the overall Day of Giving is that we were able to get the Governor of Illinois to declare June 2nd as the IIA Day of Giving. We have a printed proclamation. We kind of made a big deal about that. It kind of gave it a little bit more of a
Cachet.
Yes.
A little bit more,
it just made it,
I guess.
Yes. Yes, I don't think that we're missing anything on that.
I just kind of wanted to piggyback on a statement that Allison made about how they brought in that group to help them. That is something that we found worked for us last year with the garage sale here, is if you go to your high school, or if there's a Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts or any of these youth groups, there's a lot of those people that need service hours, particularly National Honor Society students and people like that. So we reach out to them ahead of time and just have them present the opportunity so that people see it before the kids dismiss for the summer. And then, that's where we're hoping to garner a lot of our volunteers for this one coming up this year. But there's people in the community looking to partner with groups like yours on these charitable events. So don't be afraid to reach out to people, and don't be afraid to totally think outside the box. I mean, not to use a term that's completely overused, but really just to approach people that you normally don't think of for your events. But if you're an agency, reach out to your insureds and ask them to be a part of it. Put a link, a signature on your outgoing emails that they can click right to it, to what your event is, or insert something in mail that you have with them, or have a collection box for something in your agency, and all of your normal ways of communicate that to your insureds, and then they feel like they're a part of something bigger than themselves that's for the good of all. So I just hope everybody has a lot of fun with this. We have found it to be one of our favorite events and are very excited about what's going to be happening in Illinois this year. So I hope that is the same case in your individual states.
And you could see our results there on the presentation from last year. We were super excited about those results, and we are hoping to blow that out of the water this year. So,
listen, Illinois, thank you so much. I mean, let's keep those results up there for just another minute or so, because look at this state, and imagine what we can do nationwide, guys. I mean, the proof is in the pudding right here. It's like amazing that you guys pulled this off. I can't wait to see, what every state has to offer, and let's get the ball rolling on this thing. Get those forms in, and so that we as a national committee, and Susie, we know what you're doing, and so that we can be a help to you and follow up, and you guys can reach out to us if you need any help. One thing I was going to mention too, if your state committee is lacking a value proposition, we have seen eyes light up over community service things. People just don't know how to give. And it's something that they're not going to do on their own. So if somebody just asks them, that's a huge part of it. And I think Illinois kind of hit on that as well. So thank you guys so much for, sharing that with us and obviously sharing this inspiration with us. This is a wonderful, these results speak for themselves, and we're really excited about this. So we can wait for a couple more questions if we have some, but let's kind of move forward. I think we just have a couple more slides here and we'll get you guys out of here. One thing that I wanted to mention on a national level, the National Committee is doing a Make-A-Wish fundraiser. So we are already up and running. We have, our sites ready to go. What we're going to do is we're going to do donations for the Make-A-Wish. We're going to, Make-A-Wish will also, with Trusted Choice, they're going to sweeten the deal for us a little bit. And they're going to give $2,500 to the Make-A-Wish chapter with the most donors, and they're going to give $2,500 to the Make-A-Wish chapter with the most funds raised. So we're really, as always, proud to be partnered with them through Trusted Choice, and the National Committee is going to have Make-A-Wish teams. Our websites are already up and running, so depending on which states you are in, take a look at the website there and go and visit your website. Just saying, the Midwest is probably going to do pretty good because we have a pretty solid team, guys. So looking forward to seeing you guys log on to that site and seeing how much money we can raise just on the side here for Make-A-Wish. So we're really looking forward to that as well. If you have any questions, please contact us. All of our information is listed on that first page on the National Committee page. We're always open to questions and, anything that you guys have. And again, just wanted to touch on this, ordinary people doing extraordinary things. So we really want to celebrate our community of agents and all the work that we're going to be doing in our hometowns and, get together and collaborate and see what we can do, see what our results are nationwide. So I don't have anything else to add. If somebody has some questions, we'd be happy to take those at this time.
This is Rachel from Illinois again. I do just want to add that the separate Make-A-Wish sites that you guys have set up, I think that that's a fantastic idea, and I think that promoting that within the states is perfect idea for people that maybe work in an agency that is maybe not so community involved or philanthropic. Yes, charitable. But so we did that for our day of giving. We had a donate button. We had them choose between Make-A-Wish and St. Jude, since we partner with both of those. And we had several donations come in that day just because they weren't able to participate in any other way. So the donation site was great to have.
Yeah, and that was kind of our thought there too. If nothing else, I mean, money is always a great thing. So we definitely kind of hit on that and would appreciate any funds that can just go straight to there. And yeah, that was kind of the thought process there. Susie, do you have anything else?
No, I think you guys hit on everything. Thank you so much, Jana, and our friends from Illinois for helping us with this presentation and get everything up and running. Myself and our National Young Agents Committee will be in touch with each of you and our other state contacts as soon as possible with more information. So thank you all so much for your time this afternoon, and we look forward to seeing all the amazing things you're going to do in your hometown.